live from Japan. It is Thursday, July 19th. This is Stark Raving Totals. Welcome to the segment. This is where we talk about totals across the board in sports. SBRpicks.com, Sportsbook Review, all new and improved. Sportsbook Review, main webpage. Check that out. That is pretty cool. I'm sure most of you probably already seen it already. I hope at least. It's pretty neat new functionality they have going on there, or we have going on there. So check that out. Our YouTube channel. That's this. A lot of cool segments. Got of course, got Pete and Jimmy coming on in a little bit. Awesome shows. Check them all out. And we got our Facebook page as well. Let's talk. All right, so this is where we talk about sports on the day. Stark Raving Totals, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. You guys come in, you give great comments, and we go ahead and we talk about the day. I've been having some internet issues just a little bit, so if things get a bit choppy on my end, as you know, I'm still traveling a little bit, and Wi-Fi can be kind of sketchy. Just go ahead and give me a shout in the chat. We'll be good to go. Let's check something out here. We'll be good to go. Next week will be a lot better because we'll have a nice Wi-Fi hookup. And then after that, I am going on vacation. So I will not see you guys for a couple weeks. But let me just double check some things. I want to make sure everything's hooked up here correctly. So if you'll indulge me for just a couple seconds here, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, it looks like that's hooked up okay. Let's talk. All right, so quick recap. We've had some bad luck in the WNBA recently. We're going to talk about that Atlanta team because we do have a pick on them today as they face New York. Kind of a tough loss. Honestly, though, well, kind of is not really the right word. I mean, it really should have won. I mean, you hit a half-court shot to win the game, and it should have gone overtime, which would have got us to our over. I was feeling pretty good with about 3 minutes to go because I could tell. I just felt like the whole game, the percentages weren't there, but the pace was there. So I was like, okay, they're gonna pick it up. I knew they had to score like 50 in the final quarter, but I still felt pretty good. I was like, I think I'm still right on this. And then they did. They were scoring a lot, and I was like, okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And then with like about a minute to go, I still felt pretty good. I'm like, okay, either there's gonna be shots, fouls, we're gonna get there. And then just some weird stuff happened. And that's just the way it goes sometimes, man. And then the game before that, we had some really rough luck where they did the opposite, where they scored a ton of points in the final like 3 minutes. It's just sometimes it's really hard, man. So that was a tough one to swallow. We did hit the All-Star game. We were correct about that, at least, as it did go over. But man, it went over. It should have gone way over. I mean, gosh, look at all the home runs. That was crazy. Let's talk baseball first. All right. Chicago and St. Louis kicks off the second half for us. So everybody's taking the over right now. Well, I mean, at least as far as the steam's concerned, because you got 50-50 right now with St. Louis and Chicago. The line's gone from 9 to 9.5. I'm guessing the wind's blowing out at Wrigley. I'm guessing that's why the line's gone up, because that's a lot of runs for a National League game. I'm actually going to go under. I think 9.5. It's gone to 9.5. I just think that's just too much with two quality pitchers. You got Martinez. Yeah, he didn't pitch great against the Cubs, and his one chance this year, but he's got good numbers on the year. 3.08 ERA. His WHIP's decent. 1.38. It's okay. It could be better. Over his last several starts, he's been fine. I don't put a lot of stock in the fact that he pitched well at Arizona with the new humidor thing they got going on there, and at San Francisco. But his last 10 starts, he's got touched up twice. Once was at Cincinnati. The other was at Milwaukee. Maybe this is another case today where he gets touched up, and I could be off on this one. But I've been doing pretty well in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball has actually been picking up while WNBA has been kind of going the other way for me, at least recently. I mean, I'm in the profits, but just barely. Just barely. I'm hoping for a really nice second half push in both sports, especially Major League Baseball, because there's a lot more games. I'm gonna take a shot on the under. I think the 9.5 is too much. I mean, sure, the Cubbies are a really good hitting team right now. They're hitting 265. That's second in the major leagues. St. Louis could be better. They fired Matheny. Not too surprised about that. But the biggest thing for me is that St. Louis is last in the major leagues in triples. That's the one stat I'm really hanging my hat on today. The fact that St. Louis is last in triples. And I think you need to hit some triples today to get over this total. Of course, I jest. Uh, it is true, though. That's not true, but that's not why I'm taking the under. I think 9.5 is too much. I just think it's too much. Maybe the wind's blown out. Maybe they hit a ton of home runs and they score like 15 runs. Everybody wants to take the over. I'm not going to bite. Public right now, it's 50-50. The juice, I mean, the lines got pushed to 9.5. I don't think they get there. So I'm taking the under 9.5. I just think it's too much. Okay. More of a gut call than anything. So play. I mean, if you want to take the over, go for it. No locks at all. Obviously, I mean, just look at me recently. Well, it's been 50-50 recently. I hit my Major League Baseball and I lost my WNBA. All right, let's talk some WNBA. So, as you know, I've dropped my last two in WNBA, unluckily so, if I could say that. So the first game up, I got two picks here: New York and Atlanta. Now, everybody likes to bet the overs, and it's just true. 80 to 90% of the time, the line's going to go up. I mean, now that's not a mathematical assessment by me. That's more of a gut watching the lines over the past several years, seeing what people do. I mean, look at the WNBA. Maybe they all go. I mean, according to the line movement, right now you have it's a public's push. Well, except for the Las Vegas Phoenix game, the public's a little bit on the over on both the other two games. So, and if you look at the WNBA on the season, I mean, if you just go by line movement alone, the over should hit every time, right? I mean, if you just go on line movement alone, and sometimes you got to go with it, sometimes you got to go away from it. So let's check out this first game here: New York and Atlanta. So, okay, Atlanta's been red hot. They've won 5 in a row. They're top of their division right now. And the win they pulled off in Connecticut was, I thought, was phenomenal, because that's a pretty good Connecticut team, especially at home. They usually don't lose at home. That was surprising. Surprising. Well, I mean, she had a half court shot to win. So kind of a tough spot for them to come back after a big emotional win, to come back and play a New York team that's beat them twice. Now, here's some interesting things. The line started out at 161.5, which seems big because the last time they played, that 79-72 final a couple weeks back, the line was at 150 or 150.5. They just snuck over the total. So again, like I just mentioned, the line's been pushed. Right now, you got 56% of the public on the over. It's gone from 161.5 to 162.5. Some places 163. I'm going under. I'm not going to bite. Now, I can see why people want to take the over with this one. Totally can see it. Atlanta's been a really different monster over their last 5 games. They've really pushed some tempo, and that's why. But see, I like them with the over versus Connecticut, a team that's really up tempo. They're the fastest in the NBA at home, or like second fastest. Really an up tempo team at home that can score. That's not New York, and New York has actually played some pretty good up tempo recently as well. But, however, if you take a real close look at the Liberty. If you look at them now, they've been putting up some points their last several games, but look who they played. They played the Wings, one of the fastest teams in the WNBA. They played the Sky, one of the fastest teams in the WNBA. They played the Sun, one of the fastest teams in the WNBA, and that was still 79-76. Then they played the Wings again, one of the fastest teams in the WNBA. Then they played the Mystics, who's one of the worst defensive teams, one of the top 3 worst defensive. They're allowing 45% shooting on the season. We'll get to them in a second. And then against the Storm, a real fast up-tempo team. So they've been putting up points, and they've been shooting. Actually, check this out. Over their last 5 games, they've been shooting over 50%. So it seems to reason that you should take the over in this one, right? Well, not so fast, because honestly, if you look at New York, I mean, look, yes, recently they faced some fast teams. Atlanta has been going quicker, but that's really not their dynamic. They're a good defensive team. And statistically, they're the best in the WNBA. They're allowing opponents to shoot 41.9%. That drops under 41% at home. They're a good defensive team. Also, they've lost to New York twice this year. I think they come out and put the clamps on them against a New York team on the road that's shooting 43%. And Atlanta on the year, although, I mean, recently they've been great. They're still shooting 41.2% on the season. That goes up a bit at home. Both teams are averaging under 80 points per game overall. Now, of course, recently that's been a little bit different. This year seems to be kind of an overtrend, but so I can see why you want to take the over. I can see why people want to take the over. I could totally see that. I don't look at it like that. That's not how I perceive this game going. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. We've seen me be wrong really bad at times. So don't take this as gospel. But I think the smarter play is on the under. And if they get there, I'm not going to kill myself about it. I think I've assessed this correctly. Atlanta's a really good defensive team. I think, in order for them to beat New York, and New York can really struggle shooting. I mean, like I just said, they put up some points. Sorry, some games they didn't put up so many points in the last five, but they shot at a really high percentage. They're second in the WNBA over the last 5 games as far as shooting percentage. So I could see why the line started out at 161.5 and it's gone up. Totally could see why that. I just think it's wrong. I just think it's wrong. So I'm going to take under. If you really like the over, you might be correct and I might be wrong, and that's okay. I might be on a little bit of a down streak right now. We'll see. Okay, so that's what I got for New York and Atlanta. I'm taking under the 162.5. I think the public's wrong on that one, and we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, that's a lot of points, man. For these two teams that aren't really super up tempo. I mean, I think it would be anomalous for them to go ahead and get over this total. It would be out of the ordinary for them. Okay. I mean, I know the recent uptick has been fast. I just don't think it's going to. I think we're going to start seeing more unders in the WNBA. Although this season's been pretty incredible. Kind of reminds me of last year with Major League Baseball, where we were getting where they're hitting more home runs than we've ever seen before. So WNBA seemed to, and they need to do that to be really entertaining, to bring in the crowds. They want to score a lot of points. I understand that, but the teams also want to win. I don't think they get there. And also, a quick mention: New York is not horrible defensively. They're actually allowing opponents to shoot 44%, which is like right in the middle of the league. So I think it's going to be a little bit more defensive affair. I don't think they get there. I think that's too many points. So I'm going under the 162.5. All right. Now that I've said that, let's get to Dallas and Washington. Now I think the public's right. It's 54% on the over. It's 176. That is a ton of points. And it's gone to 177, some places 178. Now it's at 177.5. So I gotta dial it in at 170. I haven't put it in yet. 177.5. I'm gonna go over. After I just got done of this big rampage about how the first game is probably gonna stay under. I think this game's going to get stupid. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to get over 190 points. I think there's value in taking over the 177.5, and I hate doing it because that's a lot. Again, that's a lot of points, especially for WNBA. But check Dallas out at home. Last game versus Liberty, they scored 104 points at home. Let's go backwards at home. Dallas. We're talking about Dallas at home. They're so fast at home. It's stupid. 104 points versus Liberty. 101 points versus Phoenix, a good defensive team. 90 points versus the Fever, 108 versus the Sky. That's a really fast team. So their last four games at home, they're averaging over 100 points. The game prior to all that at home, they played Minnesota, and Minnesota's been weird this year. Very hard to predict. I don't know what's going to happen to them in the second half. So although the Sky's a really fast team, Fever's somewhat fast. They can't score. Mercury's a good defensive team. They scored 101 points. And then, like I just talked about New York, they're not a horrible defensive team. Again, in the middle of the league, and they scored 104 points. I mean, they just put up a ton of points, man. And now they're facing a Washington team, not only on the road, but let's go ahead and look at it on the road. On the road defensively, Washington, where are they at here? They're allowing, again, like I've already mentioned, they're not a very good defensive team. I already talked about that prior. They're allowing 45% and 84.9 points per game on the road. That's third worst in the WNBA. Dallas should be able to put up another 100. But Washington could score, man. They're actually pretty good. And they're okay on the road. Well, they're better than okay. They're shooting 46% on the road. That's this season, not just recently. And they're averaging 87 points per game on the road. And that is second in the WNBA. This game's going to get stupid. It should, statistically speaking. Well, 176 is a huge number. And we can't glean anything off of this game because they haven't played this year. So odds makers just threw out 176. They can't throw out 180. They probably should have. I think it's over 180. This game's gonna get silly, man. So I'm going over with that one. I know it's a ton of points, but the pace is gonna be there. It's just whether or not the shots drop. The pace is definitely gonna be there. But you can't deny how many points Dallas has been putting up recently. Maybe it's a really weird game where they go like, 85 to 80. But statistically speaking, I see no reason not to take the over. I mean, everybody's kind of on it. It's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points, but I think they get there. I think overall throughout Dallas just seems to get going and then they just go, man. And they just go. So, and Washington can score. Deladon's going to put up 40 tonight. All right. That's it for WNBA. Las Vegas and Phoenix. It's gone from 160 again. It's gone up again, 169 and a half to 172. The last time they played, the line was about 160. They played a couple times this year. It was 160, 161, I believe, the last time they played when Phoenix came to Las Vegas and they won 92 to 80. So they went over the total. So oddsmakers set this at 169 and a half. They actually, set the line up. They went with the fact that they scored a lot that last game. Phoenix has been scoring. I mean, they've been shooting at a really high percentage recently. Like I said, New York has actually been shooting at a really high percentage over their last 5 games. One team ahead of them is Phoenix. New York is second over the last 5 games. Phoenix is number 1, shooting well over 50%. Their last 5. I just don't know how that's going to roll out. I kind of think it's going to go under, but I haven't decided on that one. So I got nothing for you guys. That's it. So we got 3 plays, man. I'm going under with Chicago and St. Louis, under the 9.5. More of a gut play than anything. I just think it's just too many runs. We'll see. Maybe the wind's blowing out and they're going to score a ton. Then we got New York, Atlanta. I can't. I'm not going to bite, man. I'm going under the 162 and a half. Although everyone's on the over, and then Washington, Dallas. That game's going to get dumb. If I had to play one game today, it'd probably be that one. Just because that New York Atlanta game bugs me because the line has gone up so much, 10 points since the last time they played because of the recent trend. And odds makers aren't going to give anything away for free. Sorry, I'm going to start rambling. So I think it's a tough one to predict. I'm just kind of, the number makes me mad. I don't think it should be that high. That's it. What do you guys got for me? Let's talk. All right. Oh my goodness. Let me grab some coffee and let's do this. Ugh. That was a lot. I just spoke a lot in a very kind of a long amount of time too. But I had a lot of information I wanted to get out. So those are my 3 plays. I really need to go 2-1 today. I need a positive day. Okay. Triple Beans, what's up? Jacob, what a way to lose that dream. Of course, somebody was going to mention it. Should have gone OT. Let me tell you real quick about that Atlanta, Connecticut game. I was wrong. It actually should have stayed under because they had to score at an exponential rate that 4th quarter to get there. Although I felt good about the call, it really should have stayed under because teams shouldn't be scoring 50 points. And it's rarer for them to score 50 points in a quarter than to not in the WNBA. Ron, how was your camping? Oh, thank you very much, Ron. It was awesome. Had a blast, man. What we do? We went hiking out in the mountains, and it was very cool, man. Ugh. My kids did great. I was really proud of them. Troll Beans, the Nippon Nightmare, the Venerable Charles Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, man? The Nippon Nightmare. That's pretty funny. Went with you on the over 169 and a half on the Dream Sun Tuesday. 51 points in 4th quarter to hit 170. No, they ended up at touche Vegas. Without no, they ended up at 169. It was 83, 86. So I think you're off on that one. Half court shot. Did us in. Adam, so Charles, my thoughts on WNBA today. Atlanta, under, Las Vegas, over, and Dallas, no thought on the over. Yeah, okay, well, cool. Well, at least we're on the same page, Adam, with New York and Atlanta. Let's go. You've talked about importance on line value and is key to long-term success. Here are the percentages needed to break even betting at minus 110. Yeah, 52.3%. Yeah. Yes, 53.4%. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yes, I know all those. I know. Well, I mean, I probably couldn't repeat them, but yeah, the 52.3%, that one is the most well-known one. I'm a really big proponent of plus money line value. Although this show's about totals, so we're going to stick with that. For anybody that knows me personally, if I take a game, I NBA will do it more. Like rarely take points or anything. I'll just take the dog. I think New York might be actually they're pretty bad and Atlanta's red hot. But what a tough spot for Atlanta to come back after a big emotional win. And New York's beat them twice. That's interesting. Um, but and who wants to bet against Las Vegas right now? Phoenix is pretty tough at home. WNBA though, I think there's good plus money value. In baseball, there's always good plus money value. Thank you, Francisco. Any plus, and now that I've said that, amazing how this always works out. Any plus money line coming soon? Nothing today, actually. I think the lines are pretty solid today. But again, it's not something I'm really going to talk about because this is Stark Raving totals. We're going to focus on the totals to see if there's value on the totals, and then maybe the segment will evolve as we continue over this next year. We'll see how it plays out. Indian Cowboy free sports picks and predictions. Charles, the line is at 7.5. Oddly, for a red hot team in Atlanta, you would think the line would be higher. Well, New York's beat them twice. New York is playing decent up tempo ball, like you said. They probably show up and game probably goes over. Okay. Again, I don't think it's going to go that way, but that's a pretty decent assessment by Indian Cowboy. But to your point, New York gave up a ton of points last game, and the line is dropping. So New York could bounce back defensively too. Should be a great game. I think the matchup is going to be pretty good. Atlanta is red hot right now. I don't know how that's going to roll out. I just think there's value on the under. Okay, Adam, Charles, I'm seeing some Japan games tomorrow. I see some games that I like. Okay, you have to let me know. I'm still Japan. I'm still rolling, man. I'm rolling. I had a little bit of a bump in the road last week, but I've been really bouncing back. Triple Beans, Stark, by my numbers, Aces are highest shooting 2% team, 64.7%, and dead last in three. Yeah, they don't shoot the three very much. They're last in 3-point, not only 3-point shooting percentage, but they're last in attempts. It's just not their dynamic. Have you noticed this? Make anything? For me, it seems like the way basketball is going now, the three is so important. But what's more important is getting to the rack. The way that the basketball has evolved over the last several years, it's get to the rack because that's your highest percentage shot, or shoot the three, which is not your highest percentage shot, but your highest percentage of return. So you want to either. So obviously Vegas has done a nice job in getting to the rack, but the kind of old school stuff of the mid range shot, that's going out there. I mean, if you watch Golden State and how teams are rolling. I mean, they're running pick and rolls to get different pick and rolls and the pick and pop to shoot the three, but they're trying to get to the rack because it's such a high percentage shot. That's the thing, and I'm guessing Vegas does a really good job of that. Just getting into the paint. You want to get to the paint. Indian. Bingo. Agree with you on the over on Dallas. Okay. I think you're spot on. I hope so, man. I hope so. Need to pick up a couple winners today. Like I said, I want to go 2-1 today. I see you guys should do a podcast together. Oh, Indian Cowboy. I just met him. Maybe. I'm always up for that. Zach. Cirstia breaks. I'm not sure what that is. Adam. Charles, thoughts on Fukuoka Seibu unders? I never take unders with them. I had them on the over their last game. It was 9. I think they went over. No, they didn't go. They went over 2 out of their last 3 games in their series. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked at the matchups today. I'll do it as soon as I'm done with this. They had a day off yesterday, which is rare. Francisco, I hope that was helpful to someone. Oh, okay. See the percentages? Yeah, sure. And again, Francisco with some good percentages in there. Please read that guy about the run line as well. That's good stuff. Triple beams. Let's look at WNBA plus money line value. Liberty plus 225, Mystics plus 178, Aces plus 30. Anything popping for me? I'd probably take Las Vegas. Washington actually, man, is not a bad choice either because they're a pretty decent team, and Deladon would probably be the best player on the floor. That's not bad. I can't see New York beating Atlanta, but maybe they do. I think all those are in play. Honestly, I think any of those could win. But WNBA is when you think that team can't win, they win. So New York could definitely go in and beat beat Atlanta. Sure. WNBA, man, anything can happen. I mean, they could go in and win by 10. I mean, it's just sometimes WNBA, man, is crazy. So I think all those have value. If there's something you particularly like, I say take it. Aces +9 with Joe. I'm not really sure. Zach, again, if I was going to take Las Vegas, I'd take them just right on the plus money line. I would. 3-1 odds on a well-coached team. Carl, Atlanta are 2-8 on the under at home. That's okay. I don't mind trends. I don't really get into that very much. Bill, Chuckster, you think now that Carmelo is being waived and will be a free agent, he'll go to Lakers with LeBron? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think his wife is going to make the call on that probably. Triple Beams, my bad. I had the numbers. Oh, about this. Okay, yeah, no disregard. No worries, man. I make mistakes all the time. Tomorrow, I'd lean under in the Cubs-Cardinals game, but I won't bet the under with both pitchers off their routine. I don't mind that. The fact that they're coming back from the All-Star break, maybe the batters will be off just a touch. I don't know. They could score 15. They could score 5. For me, I think 9.5 is just too much. And we got Francisco. Is there another young Otani we should keep an eye out coming out of Japan? No, right now the best pitcher. Well, yeah, there is. There's a kid for Cebu, actually, Kikuchi. He's a lefty and he's nasty. He's been really, really one of the best pitchers in Japan, top 3 over the past couple seasons. He should end up in the major leagues. He's freaking nasty, man. Really, really tough guy. So yeah, Kikuchi for Cebu. There's a couple others, but there's a couple others I like, but they're pretty much set in staying here, and nothing like Otani. He's ain't nothing like that guy. He's super good. But there's one kid I think Kikuchi's gonna be really good. Guan White. Hey Charles. Hey Guan. Adam, you should ask for another segment with only Japanese baseball. Again, it's the time thing with Japanese baseball. I could have a segment of Japanese baseball, but again, time is time. So if I'm going to do that, then I don't know if I have the time to do it. Honestly, I'm pretty much booked with one segment a day. And one sec. Good morning, buddy. You want to watch? Oh, okay. You can watch. It's your birthday in 2 days. He's going to be 8 years old. My son is going to be a very big boy, and I already got him his present. Right? That's right. Okay. What else we got here? Guan just chimed in with told you. I'll recap here in just a sec, Guan. We're going to be tuned out here in about 5 minutes. Francisco, I think I know a pitcher. His name is Mima. I think Charles really likes him. Yeah. Mima. No, he pitches for Rakuten, and he's okay. He's all right. Oh, there's another really good guy for Rakuten, Norimoto. He's a grinder, man. They got good pitchers here, man. It's a pitching premium country. But but check this out. They in between innings in Japan, by the way, the pitcher when they get to 2 outs, the pitcher will go out there and start playing catch again. Gee, I wonder why Otani's arm is busted up. They do that all the time. They'll go out in between innings before they go out to the mound again, and they'll start playing catch again. Isn't that crazy? All right, I got to wrap up here. I see a couple comments here. I appreciate Tomor, good stuff coming in. Adam, good stuff about Cebu isn't playing against Fukuoka. Well, they did last week, so I'll have to check out the matchups today. The Lynx are still plus 50 to win, 250 to win the title. Yeah, I don't see them win the title. Let's see. And you guys coming in with Tomor, good stuff with about Mello, Semajay. Hello, good to see you. Let me wrap up here real quick. And Bill, Chuckster, have you ever looked into Mexico Basin? No, not really. Low Shack was capping. Oh, cool. Nice. How fun. Happy birthday to your son. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Again, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be our last segment. Oh, no, sorry. We're going all next week. And I keep forgetting that. And then I'm traveling. So we got one more week of Stark Raving totals, or a week and a half. Today, this is what I got. And I'm a little nervous about this card, honestly. I'm not super confident, but I really am. I'm hoping to go 2-1. Baseball, I'm going under 9.5 with the Cardinals and the Cubs. I just don't think. I think it's too many runs. I don't think they get there. In the WNBA, I got 2 plays. New York, Atlanta on a game that really makes me mad. I'm going under the 162.5. And then Dallas, Washington should be a track meet. I'm going over the 177.5. And that's it. Las Vegas, Phoenix, just don't know how it's going to roll out. That's it for me, you guys. Hey, appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for all the comments. And I'll catch you guys on Saturday. All right, take care.